Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live on Facebook, thank you for that. If you are watching us elsewhere, we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. So you can check them out there. We have audio and video versions for you to watch or listen, your choice. Getting into your traffic this morning, it is flowing. Not too bad this morning. No rain or anything like we've had the last 2 days. However, that will be coming. We'll talk about that in a second. But I-12 is flowing. Some minor delays on those on-ramps getting onto I-12 and some minor delays on 64 heading into Central, as well as some minor delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190, but not too bad this morning. Actually, a pretty good commute for most of you. 75 degrees is your current temperature. It's going to get up to 88 today, probably around noon. So when we're going to peak, and then we're looking at a chance, a 60 to 70% chance, so a pretty high chance of afternoon thunderstorms. I know if you probably woke up this morning, you're like, oh, great, it's not raining outside. Still recommend you pick up that umbrella or a poncho on your way out the door going to work. If you haven't already, you will need it this afternoon. I say will. I'm not a weather person. I'm just forwarding the weather to you, but according to the weather people, it's a great idea for you to have it. Let's put it that way. We're going to be jumping right into the coronavirus today. 111,038 cases in Louisiana. Technically Monday to Tuesday's jump was one of the lowest we've had since the beginning of July, so that was a great sign. 3,700 deaths, 1,276,304 tests, 61,456 have recovered, 1,583 tests, 1,583 are hospitalized on 214 ventilators. So that hospital number, we're going to have one of these mornings, I can tell already. There we go. That hospital number kind of fluctuating a little bit, going up, going down, but that ventilator number on a steady rise. So let's hope we can keep that under control. In Livingston Parish, 2,412 cases, 47 deaths on 23,053 tests. Getting into these mitigation efforts real quick, remember to wear a mask in public. It is a mandate. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others. Wash your hands with soap and water. Control your cough and sneezing with an elbow or a tissue, and preferably your elbow. Don't touch your face, my favorite one. 25 or less to a gathering, preferably less, and stay home if you're sick to work, and stay home if you are sick to utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. Good morning, Mr. Jonathan. How are you? And good morning. Oh, wow, two Jonathans. Good morning, Mr. Jonathan Enriquez, and good morning, Mr. Jonathan Taylor. Thank you both for joining me. Excuse me. The governor spoke yesterday. According to him, the internal data and that which they are showing us is that we are actually starting to plateau, which is a great sign, of course. From that Monday to Tuesday jump was a great sign in terms of what direction the state's moving. However, he is saying that he's receiving pressure from the federal task force because we are now #1 per capita for coronavirus cases in the nation. So they are looking at things like restricting indoor eating access, dropping that back down to a certain percentage, and stressing outdoor eating and closing bars altogether. Not quite there yet. Still want to give this mask mandate some time to work. However, he did bring up State Fire Marshal Butch Browning, who has worked with businesses and tried to mediate things like mitigation efforts and work with the business to go forward. As of right now, only 4 bars are going to have hearings, and that's statewide, for not following some of the mandates that were issued by the state and some of the coronavirus mitigation efforts. So we're going to see those hearings will be in early August, so we will see how they turn out. But again, the governor, right now, we're still looking at that extension of phase 2. It will go for another roughly 8 days. It will end on August 7th, which is technically next Friday. And of course, that's also the first day of school. So we're going to be interested to see what he, being Governor John Bel Edwards, has to say on Monday. Governor is also concerned about the unemployment fund. Of course, they're discussing a stimulus bill in the Capitol, or at the U.S. Capitol at the moment. It'll be between $1 and $2 trillion. The unemployment benefits will not be as high as they were the first time. It's not just going to be a flat $600. It's going to look more like $200. So the governor is worried about people staying on those unemployment benefits here in Louisiana. Of course, that fund's running out. The way they refund it is they'll take an interest-free loan from the government. But the governor has already reached out to the Washington delegation to bring special attention to our unemployment trust fund, I guess you can say. So we're going to see where that goes in the coming days. It's been a concern. Rescue Alliance, which is why Mr. Jonathan Enriquez is here, I suppose, is a no-kill service it's a nonprofit no-kill that serves animals throughout the Baton Rouge area, and they need donations. So they need dry dog food, and cat litter. Donations can be brought to, in Livingston Parish, Agape Baptist Church at 25353 South Walker Road. So again, they've had several donation days throughout the coronavirus pandemic, especially for those our furry friends who need food during this time, and some people may not be able to afford it. Most of those donation days, there's no questions asked. They were just handing out food. Now they're looking to try to get their stores restocked. So again, Rescue Alliance, which is a no-kill sort of humanitarian service for cats and dogs in the capital area. They need donations of dry dog food and cat food, as well as cat litter. In Livingston Parish, you can drop that off at Agape Baptist Church at 25353 South Walker Road. The liability game has reached Washington, D.C. Congressman Garrett Graves has introduced some legislation at the national level to talk about business, school, and political liability for the coronavirus. Of course, we've already had that locally. Our own Buddy Mincy Jr. Passed legislation at the state level at the end of this last special session, at least specifically for schools, that would try to limit liability should a child come to school or should a teacher be at school and contract the novel coronavirus. Now, the Congressman Garrett Graves is trying to take that to the state or to the federal level. I'm sorry, because I was thinking further. He's taking it to the federal level to try to address cross-state concerns, especially cross-state commerce, and limiting liability for those who do intrastate business. Now, one of the things he did say was that having, some national guidelines behind that wouldn't hurt, because anything that was done at the state level must be more strict than the national guidelines, and it does provide a benchmark for those businesses that do cross-state business. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can get past. There are a lot of people in politics and in business that are pushing for reduced liability because of the coronavirus. As it's been described before, we do live in a judicial hellhole, not my words, simply something that is caught on with regard to Louisiana. We are sue happy here. And so one of the things that it's not surprising that a lot of the push for liability control is coming out of Louisiana. But again, Congressman Garrett Graves has introduced that to try to limit liability for politicians, schools, and businesses, especially those who do cross-state business, just in case maybe you picked it up in Florida and brought it to Louisiana, or if a worker just simply got it somewhere else because they had to go make a delivery. So we're going to see how that rolls through Congress. But again, the liability game has made it to Washington, D.C. Now, interesting, but a good piece of news. On Monday, a memo was sent out by the Louisiana High School Athletic Association, or LHSAA, to its member schools, saying that football practice can officially begin August 3rd. They are moving forward with that sport, which is a great sign for those of you who wanted, or especially those seniors who wanted their senior season. Now, remember, this is just the start of practice, but it is a good sign. Still looking at shoulder pads on August 6th, too. So they're going to be moving forward pretty steadily here. Of course, these teams have been practicing over the summer, but mostly weights and conditioning, and they've been doing it, especially at the larger schools, with a rotation. So that means that, they've been bringing in a certain amount of kids that per CDC guidelines, and then bringing in another group and another group. So it takes a lot longer to get through those summer workouts, but everybody gets a chance to work out. Now we're looking at full practice starting August 3rd, which will be Monday. So that'll be about 5 days from now. So we're going to see how that works out. I know Mr. Rob DeArmond is going to be on top of that, going around the coaches and in different places, just like he did at the beginning of the summer when they started their summer workouts, and to see how each team is going to be handling that. And then again, as mentioned, August 6th, you'll get shoulder pads. Not sure when intra-squad competition can begin. So that's your regular season. However, Springfield principal, Spencer Harris, who is also on the LHSAA executive committee, did say that he is very cautiously optimistic about a full high school football season. Now, whatever high school football looks like, I know that there's going to be a lot of kids and a lot of coaches who just want to play, but they are looking to try to get to that full season. We'll see how that goes. And I'm sure after Mr. DeArmond, our sports editor, visits all of those teams and sees how they're practicing, he and I will sit down for another podcast because I know he's gotten in touch with some of the other fall sports and their coaches to see how they're working it as well. One last time with your COVID-19 statistics, 111,038 cases statewide. Remember that Monday to Tuesday jump was a very good sign, not nearly as big as it has been the last 2 or 3 weeks. 3,700 deaths, 1,276,304 tests, 61,456 have recovered on 1,583 hospitalizations with 214 ventilators. So remember, those hospitalizations seem to kind of be plateauing, but that ventilator number continues to climb. That is concerning. In Livingston Parish, 2,412 cases, 47 deaths on 23,053 tests. And excuse me, sip the water there. Mitigation efforts, one more time. Wear a mask in public. It is a mandate. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others. Wash your hands for 20 seconds or more with soap and water. Control your cough and your sneezing with an elbow or a tissue, preferably your elbow. Although I do want to hear, if you ever have to use somebody else's elbow, I'd love to hear that story. Don't touch your face, my favorite one. 25 or less to a gathering, preferably less, and stay home if you're sick, to work and to utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. Traffic is flowing today. As of right now, no accidents. Looking at a pretty beautiful day so far. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Pretty good day so far. No accidents reported. Again, I-12 flowing. Most traffic is flowing. You're looking at some minor delays on the on-ramps getting onto I-12 and some minor delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190. It's currently 75 degrees. 88 degrees is your high today. 76 degrees, your overnight low. There is a high chance of thunderstorms this afternoon, 60 to 70% beginning about 1 p.m. Please pick up an umbrella or a poncho on your way out the door if you haven't left already, because there's a good chance you'll need it this afternoon. Again, one last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. Please remember, we are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month to get that in your mailbox. We are also online. We have a coronavirus page, which is free. We have a breaking news page, which is free, and our podcast page is free as well. You can find all that at www.livingstonparishnews.com. We also have an app to go with that. Want to remind folks, Rescue Alliance, which is a no-kill nonprofit that serves four-legged furry friends in the Baton Rouge area, needs donations of dry dog food or cat food or cat litter. You can make those donations at Agape Baptist Church, 25353 South Walker Road. Also, we do have a podcast this afternoon with Superintendent Joe Murphy. Going to be sitting down with him about 3 p.m. To talk about some updated guidance from the Centers for Disease Control regarding kids going back to school. Also going to be asking them some more specific questions as the schools are kind of ramping up to get started. Again, appreciate you guys joining us. Do hope you have a great day. Try to stay dry this afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow.